Consciousology has as its principle two realities: the consciousness, which is the ego, the self, the individuality, and the bioenergies. Within these realities, one of the pillars of research is the Holosoma, a set of vehicles for the manifestation of the consciousness. In this intraphysical dimension, these four vehicles act simultaneously together and at the same time. The first we call the soma, or physical body. The second is the energosoma, or energy body. The third is the psychosoma, or emotional body. And the fourth, the mental soma, or mental body. In this image, we can see the four separate vehicles, and within the different areas of study of consciousology and the personal experiences of people performing self-research, we identify one by one their characteristics, their properties, and so that we can understand their functioning, objectives, and achieve a state of balance between them. We will now have, beginning on March the 5th, 2022, on Saturdays and Sundays, the Fundamentals of Consciousness Evolution online course. This is an entry course with the basic concepts, with 20 lessons and being 50 hours in length. It is a complete course. If you have any affinity with the concept of the Holosoma and the idea that we manifest through four different bodies in this and other dimensions, come and join this class. And for those who already know about consciousology, you can take this time to recycle and study more. We hope to see you there.
Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Thanks for joining us today with our first interview of the program Consciousness in Evolution. My name is Eliane Wojslaw. I'm instructor at Reaprendência and I will be your host today. Consciousness in Evolution is a weekly program dedicated to bring you information about parapsychic phenomena, bioenergies, projections of the consciousness, multiple lives, and other interesting topics related to the consciential self-reeducation. Today we are going to talk about the course Fundamentals of Consciousness Evolution, an online course that is being launched in English by Reaprendência. And we have three special guests to talk about this course. We have Renan Temp, Fabiana Cerato, and Marlon Muraro, who are instructors of this course called Fundamentals. And before we get started, I want to remind you all about the principle of disbelief. That is, don't believe in anything, not even in what you hear in this webinar. Experiment, have your own experiences. It means maintain your critical thoughts, your reasoning, and see if what we are talking about here has logic, right? And welcome, dear instructors, and let's start with our dear friend Renan Temp. I will call him. Renan is an electrical engineer and entrepreneur. Currently, he is executive director at Enerluz, founder and partner at other businesses in technology, engineering, and smart buildings. He is also a consciousology researcher and volunteer since 2008 and instructor since 2017. Currently, he is the general coordinator of the course Fundamentals of Consciousness Evolution. Welcome, Renan.
Thank you very much, Eliane, and hello, everyone. Thank you very much for the opportunity to be here today with you.
Now, Fabiana Cerato. Fabiana is graduated in architecture, specialized in positive psychology, didactics and methodology, project planning and building. She has been a self-knowledge researcher, speaker, and teacher of consciousology since 1997. Currently, she is an entrepreneur, interpreter, and a writer. Fabiana.
Thank you very much for this opportunity of being here and being here to debate with all of you.
And Marlon. Marlon Muraro is an accountant, Cambridge certified English teacher, barista, polyglot, and world explorer. Currently, he's living in Bangkok, Thailand. He is a volunteer of Consciousology since 2008 and instructor since 2015.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you so much for the people joining us live from our channels. And let's start our discussion.
Yeah, we have so much to talk about today, people. And I want to start with Fabiana. And I want to ask you, Fabiana, what is Consciousology? What is the science about? And why did you choose to study this?
Yes, it is great to be here talking about conscienciology. Conscienciology is a science that studies consciousness. Consciousness as ego, as ourselves, as individuals. We call it science. It is a science because the same way you deal in a laboratory with scientific way and scientific methodologies and perspectives, you do this with yourself. You place all the methodology on yourself and you start to change, you start to cycle, and you start to evolve. You qualify your life the more you study consciousness. So conscienciology studies ourselves as consciousness in a multidimensional way and in a multidimensional perspective, analyzing the series of life. And it's important also to conclude this question to understand that there are pillars of the study of consciousness in which expanding the paradigm, it is a very important pillar. Meaning, we don't want to study only based on the physical paradigm. We ought to expand our paradigm to complete and to understand better conscienciology.
That is
And
very
I am here.
important.
Yes, Eliane?
Yeah, it's very important because we see that when we have a broader perspective, when we see that we don't have only one life, we have more than one, and we are also interacting with other dimensions. Things
Yes, it
change
is.
completely.
It is important you mention this because I remember why I connect with conscienciology. One day, long time ago, I was coming back from my job and I was very aggressive, very irritated, and I was struggling a lot. And I was thinking, why my life is like this? I don't like my life. I am unhappy. Although I have money, I have a job, I have a family, I have everything. But I was not feeling well. Something was awkward. And then I turned back and I looked to a wall and I saw extra physical consciousness, what we call it a spirit. And that extra physical consciousness was half physical and half metal. And then I looked and I said, what is that? Oh, it was a shock for me because being an architect, very technical, very physical, no, imagine. And from that experience, I decided to understand more about other realities. And that was what
And
triggered.
Fabiana, were you afraid when you saw this extra physical consciousness? How did you feel?
To be honest, I was thinking that I was crazy. I said, I was not afraid. I thought, my gosh, am I getting crazy? Because I used to have lots of headaches. And then I thought, perhaps I need a medicine. Perhaps I need something. I need to take something to make that go away. No. So it was that was the feeling. And from that feeling, from seeing that, I decided to look deeper into myself until I was able to arrive into self-knowledge and into conscienciology. And that changed my life completely.
How about you? That's great for Fabiana. Thanks. And I want to ask Renan and Marlon about how did they met Conscienciology and how was their lives in that moment. Renan.
Uh,
Hello.
Oh, you can start, Marlon.
I'm
Go
going to
ahead.
start then.
Marlon is
For me, it was the first time I got a pamphlet, a promotional pamphlet with the image and with the words out of body experience. For me, that was, I knew from that pamphlet that I had to study this. So I went to the first free seminar and listened to the ideas. And I knew that everything that they were saying at that seminar was everything that I had thought until that moment in my life. And then I start one course, volunteer, and then another course, and now I'm here. So this was back in 2007, back in Brazil, and it was a great experience because it was the connection from the words, from the out of body experience, the image. There was a big calling for me.
Very good. Renan?
Perfect. I really like to listen to the stories about how people start to do something that is so important to me. And I was born in a family that didn't have much interest. I think it's interest, but mainly is a practical thing in religious or philosophical things in the everyday life. So uh, I was in an open environment, but I couldn't speak much deeper about things that was happening, the things that were happening to me. Like I had some experiences when I was a child that I was very afraid about, and mainly at night, but during the day also. That I saw things, I felt things, and eventually I had what is called an out of body experience, and I was trying to convince myself that it's just a dream or something about my mind. And actually, it was very hard because I didn't have anybody to talk about. I was just a child, and when I tried to talk about it with somebody that I thought it was somebody intelligent or mature, I actually found people that didn't have the same experiences than me. So I really try to erase it. I don't know how to say, but for a child, it's very hard that the reality we are living uh, doesn't match very well with all you experience. So it started to make me feel like a little dishonest with myself, with my own intelligence. And it lasted for a long time. And eventually, I received like a gift for my from my dad that looked to a leisure or someday he get to know the consciousology with a group of people,
Mm-hmm.
but he didn't think it was for him. He thought my son had this kind of stuff, you know. So
Very
when I
good.
was 12, he brought to me the books, some of the books, and I started to read it at home, but didn't know anything more than that.
How
So
old were you in this time when you
I was
start
12.
reading?
I was 12.
12. It's pretty
Yes.
young. Mm-hmm.
And after that, I also continue to search in other. I live in Iguaçu in Brazil, so here we have like more than 80 cultures living together, and my classmates were from all over the world. I had this privilege,
Yeah.
and I started to study their philosophies like Buddhism, Islamism, Christianism, and a lot of other ways of life, so I could understand more about what I was experiencing. But in conscienciology, really, I was trying to find something more technical and something that was not a lot of mysticism and religious. So then
Yes.
I can use my own mind to find the truth that I was trying to understand.
Yeah, because conscienciology is great because it's not a religion, it's not a sect, it's a science, people. It's an, in which you can self-experiment what we're talking about. You can go out of your body, or you can have this perception of the energies, and you can check by yourself and make and have your own conclusions. And we have a lot of people feeling the same, studying the same, having similar experiences, and that's something that it becomes turns it very technical.
And
Okay.
may I just add, Eliane, that today, what it was a source of fear and actually anxiety, nowadays I can really use it to help me and to help in people that I find in everyday life, and it's very
Yeah.
very good. I didn't have
Yes.
to erase it like I thought I had to do when I was a child.
Great, Renan. And I would like to ask you, what is this course, Fundamentals of Consciousness Evolution? What is it about? Tell us a little bit about
Perfect.
it for our viewers.
Perfect. When I arrived or when I discovered the science, I started by the books. But now we have other instruments, and this is an entry course. An entry course is a very important thing, and Fundamentals is an entry course of Conscienciology. It contains the basis and essential concepts of this neoscience. We like to name it like a neoscience because of the methodology and the ways that it's technical to practice the knowledge that we are offering in these courses and in this entry course. It has 20 classes. Each class has 2 hours and 30 minutes each, with a total of 50 hours in length. It means it's a complete course, and it's very important because it's organized. The knowledge is organized to everybody that wants to start to studying this neoscience. It was designed aiming that students can understand these essential concepts and apply these ideas in everyday life. It's important to be practical about it, not just theoretical. And making ourselves in our life better, more productive. And these contents are presented, debated among the students. So everybody is involved, the instructors, and even the instructor is a facilitator and uses this methodology adopted that is called active learning methodology. It's important to make an observation that although we call them essential concepts or basic concepts, they represented sometimes and a lot of times very advanced ideas. What we call leading edge relative truths, and are very important to comprehend that study if the consciousness is in a broader perspective. This concept that I brought, that relative truths, we started today with the disbelief principle, and it's very important to understand that we are still studying and researching, and everybody has their own experiences.
That's
So we know that we don't have truth that is going to remain true to everyone and every time, and it's not going to change in the future. So it's very important this.
I agree. We don't have absolute truth because we, as a science, we are dealing with leading edge relative truth, and everything can change, right? And
Yes.
I want to ask Marlon, which institution organizes it? Tell us a
Well,
little bit about. We know it's Reaprendência, but tell us a little bit. What is Reaprendência? How
of
long does it
course.
exist?
Of course, I can tell you. So the course is organized by Reaprendência. Reaprendência is an international and what we call 501c3 nonprofit organization. This is our regulation in the United States. And it's a nonprofit organization. All our work is done by volunteer work. And this institution is specialized in teachers formation. So it's specialized in parapedagogy, as we call, and parapsychic and self-re-education. So this is the main activity of our institution. And because we are working on formation of teachers, right? So with the parapedagogy, we also structured this course, which is the fundamentals. So we have the teachers of this course who go under a training of 10 months to prepare themselves to be teachers, instructors of Conscienciology. And then we have the course, which they can then apply their knowledge and start teaching, start interacting with the students in the course Fundamentals of Conscienciology.
And it's interesting that we have also the Exemplarism Principle, That is, whenever we talk, we are teaching and talking about some aspects to students. For example, to practice the vibrational state, practice the mobilization of energies, interact with, try to do assistance, try to do physical activity, things that we are debating during our classes. We, as consciousology teachers, we have to live that, to have this experience. We are going to try to put the paradigm, the consciential paradigm, into practice, so that we are not only theoretical. We in fact, we have to be practical as well in this area.
You know, Eliane, this that you just mentioned is what called exactly my attention in conscienciology, is the possibility of placing theory together with practice. And in all those 20 classes, we will have that possibility. It's interesting, especially with bioenergies, which is one of the most important contents. And it is fantastic to place that on practice. You know, I'm sure I have many practice with that, and I'm sure also the colleagues, they have practice about it as well.
Yeah. Can you
You
tell
know,
us
we
a
can
little bit?
also, yeah, I want
Yeah,
also
that's
to
my
explain a
next
little about
question.
the bioenergies. Yes.
Yeah,
So
I want
let's
to
go
know.
deep a little in one of these pillars that is that in the consciential paradigm that we are going to explore, and we explore a lot more during the course. But just for you to understand and have an idea, in conscientiology, we work with this hypothesis that in the universe there are only two basic realities, which is the consciousness and energy. And energy is this element that allows the consciousness to manifest, right? So it's a very interesting and practical object of study because we all have experiences in our day, right? We interact with other people, we exchange energy with other people. And sometimes we leave those interactions feeling good and charged, and sometimes we leave those interactions feeling drained. And we always, it's a very practical because we can feel in our daily lives, right? We go into an ambient, we change rooms in places that we go, and we feel. Sometimes we feel very welcome, we feel positive and good energy. Sometimes we also feel rejection, we feel a bad environment, and even signs, right? Sometimes we even have headaches that are signs of the energy of the environment. So the course help us in guiding us in this use and control of the energy. One aspect that is interesting as well is that to study all of these bioenergies, in the course we separate them in between immanent, which is natural energy, and consciential energy, which is the energy that the consciousness uses to manifest. So every time we think, we feel, and we send energies, we are using our consciential energies, and including our chakras, our energetic vortices that we use for these exchanges. And Eliane already mentioned, but during the course, we teach many, many techniques that help students to perceive, better control their energies in all aspects of your life, with a special focus for our main energetic technique, which is the vibrational state and basic mobilization of energies. This new and improved technique is sure to help you unblock your energies, improve the quality of your life, and give a better quality for your life. This is one of the topics that we work in the course, that we explore in a deeper level of the course.
And Marlon, do we have techniques in to go out of the body in this course?
We also have projectiology is also another topic of this course. We actually have two classes to deal with phenomenal and out-of-body experience. We teach many techniques that you can apply by yourself in your time and develop as much as you can practice those techniques.
And Fabiana, is there a guarantee if I apply these techniques? Is there a guarantee that I will be going out of the body with lucidity and awareness?
It is a great question, Eliane, and it's. I just I remember when Marlo was talking about out of body experience. I remember the first time I had a lucid out of body experience. It was it was very interesting because I wanted to go out of my body. I really wanted, but I had no results. I was applying those techniques all the time, once, twice, every day. I was almost a month every day trying to apply those techniques to go out of my body. And I was waking up in the morning with few sensations, but not having lucid projections. And I remember the first one when I really was lucid, when I really left my body and I realized that I was lucid in the extra physical dimension. And then I saw myself, I said, whoa, I am projected. I am in the extra physical dimension. And then I remember that the teacher mentioned, when you leave your body, try not to get so excited because you tend to go back. And then I immediately remember that I hear in the course. And I said, okay, I will be not so euphoric. But I remember that it took me some time. So it is not a guarantee, but if you apply the techniques, for sure, you will have great results as I had.
And I think another topic. Oh, I want to add something first.
Okay, go ahead, Marlon. Then
we explain a lot of techniques and we talk a lot and we give those techniques for people to apply to have an out-of-body experience. But I think it's important to see that our course is fundamentals of consciousness evolution. So we also give much more information. So the time and when you have an out-of-the-body experience is going to be a great experience. It's going to be enjoyable. You're going to be able to take advantage of this moment because you already took a course. You already understand the physiological parts of all these different vehicles that we use, the multi-dimensions, the work with energies. So I also want to add, even if you don't have an experience during the course and you have one the month after with more practices and more energetic practices, the experience will be much more improved, given that you already have the information regarding this extensive knowledge of the consciousness evolution.
Yeah, because it's like a physical exercise. You have to train. You have to have your energosoma, your chakras will be trained and more deblocked. So it's very important that we maintain the focus on this. And during the course, we are going to learn how to do this. And that's what I want to ask Renan. Renan, do we have energy work during this course? And how is that?
Yes, okay. Just before that, because it's related, even after the comment of Marlon, even better, because I would like to talk about health a little bit, because out-of-body experiences and experience bioenergies can bring this thought, this thinking about, is it healthy? Is it safe? And it's very important to study and to get to know about techniques and other people that are already trying this with scientific methods and everything, because it's better to do this in a safe way, to do this in a lucid way, so that you after that you can start to even notice and perceive the relation with out-of-body experiences and bioenergies in your own body, and see how your health gets to improve after you start to living more about your nature, about your human nature, about yourself. It's something that everybody has, and it's something that it's possible to use pointed to our well-being and our healthy.
I believe, I think, Renan, that this is because we go through a detox, energetic detox. When we are working with the energies, we learn how to de-assimilate negative energies that we acquire during the day in our daily life. Fabiana,
this is a very important
topic. Yes, I want to understand something really connected with that. This detoxification, all this detox energy that we learn how to deal with, because we are studying the 10 main chakras. We also are able to apply in the way we think, in our thoughts. So I remember when I told at the beginning of this live that I was very irritated and very aggressive during many years ago. It was because my thoughts, they were intoxicated. So one of the most important things for me was learning how to clean my head, how to clean my thoughts. My brother made a comment a few days ago. He says, "You can sleep 8 hours without taking any medicine." I said, yes. And because my thoughts are clean, because you detox, you do a detox before and after, and then you sleep like a baby. No, we don't need medicine to deal with life.
This is very good for mental health, physical
Yes,
health, integral health. It's very good.
And I brought
And
this
also-
topic because we know that there are a lot of people that think that these new things they don't know yet, they may not be safe or may not be allowed. So that's why we stimulate this. Start with little things and get to know yourself with experience and knowledge. So answering the sorry, Lenny.
I have a question for you, before, but I made one finish,
Okay.
and then I will ask what I have here. What I will do again that question for you about energy work, and then I'll do this question.
Okay, no problem. I was just answering the other question because yes, we have energy work during the course. It's very important to start the practical techniques early in the knowledge, so we can also convince ourselves, not be convinced by other people. Not we don't need any intermediate between us and our nature, our real nature, our experience. So in every course, during the presential courses that we have, in every places that our institution is located, we have 30 minutes in each class that we work with energies, the instructors, the students, everybody, so we can take notes and learn about our own energy work and perceive the benefits. That's the better part, the best part. Every time we try a different possibility to work with energies. We have a lot of techniques, and they are distributed along the course. However, it's very important to mention that during the pandemics, the energy work it's getting a little bit different because all the courses of Conscienciology, presential courses, they were suspended. And we are very responsible about it because people that are starting and to study, and they are in other places, and courses that are made during the internet in this space of public commotion and health important situation that we are living. We had this Epicenters Council that it's an organ that regulates the parapsychic activities, the energetic activities as well. So to avoid situations that can happen in this moment, that people are more sensible and they are far from the structures because of the internet, the energetic work were suspended for a determined period of time until we come back to the normal activities of the world.
Yeah, here too, here in Foz do Iguaçu, we have a lot of parapsychic dynamics that are presential activities, and they were suspended during the pandemics
as well.
But I think it's wise, it's important, because whenever the student is working with energy, and mainly when we are working in groups, it's very potentialized. It forms a field, and that field attracts people, extra physical consciousnesses that are in need. They're caring. They need energy. And when there is a social commotion, this is even bigger.
Yes, I
And
want
it's
to add
important.
something here, Jenny.
yeah,
That even though during the courses we might not be able to do together the exercises, The students are free to try the exercises at home. They can experiment with energy because we give the techniques and the students go home, they can practice, they can have their experience. And it's important that they do, because if they have a doubt, they can bring the doubt to the class, and that they have a full support of many teachers that would be there every class,
That's
helping
the
them
difference.
understand
Yeah.
in a deeper level what that experience means.
Yes, I also would like to add in on that, Marlon, that this is the main difference between believing and experiencing. You know, we ought to experience. Now, this is why we change. This is why we detoxify, because we experience. We place that on practice. We work with our chakras. We work with the main exercise, we clean our head. So this is a very pragmatical. That's why instructor Eliane placed, when we start, the disbelief principle, because this is ourselves placing those exercise on practice.
That's it. And so, people, very important what we are mentioning, just to make it clear for our audience, and also, people, I invite you, the audience, to ask you some questions. If you have specific doubts, send us, that we will be glad to answer. But just to make a summary of what we are saying here, because it's very important. Although we are going to teach the energetic practices in the course, in this fundamentals course. During the pandemics, we are not going to apply them, right? But you students, you can apply by yourselves, okay? Just for safety purposes, for us to focus in the contents, and you can practice at home by yourselves in this moment, okay? So that's what we have to mention so far about the work with energies. And I want to ask Fabiana about the contents. Can you point out the main contents of this course, Fabiana? What would you point
Yes.
out as most relevant in this moment?
Thank you for the question. As instructor Renan mentioned, there are 20 classes of 2 hours and a half, including all those bioenergetic techniques. There are those 20 classes, they change your life, because consciousology is you study yourself as consciousness. So you are going to restructure your entire life. Another important content that we are going to study is the existential programming, what we call mission in life. So you are going to see and to study deeper your life. What do you do and what you can do? What are the methodologies and techniques that you can do to improve and to qualify your life, to restructure your life in a evolutive purpose? So what we can do to qualify that? There are methodologies, there are theoretical information. And as we mentioned before, we have the theory, and then we place the theory on practice and we see the results. Other important class, apart from the mission in life, is the class in which we are going to study the extra-physical phenomena, in which insights, having insights is one of the phenomena. I remember, just to place that in a practical way, I was traveling by bus once. I was traveling from Porto Alegre to Iguaçu Foz by bus. And then I was working the energies, because the bus was very noisy and very confused. The energy was quite awkward. I started to work the energies, and suddenly I have an insight, which is one of the phenomena that we study. The insight was for me to go ahead and check the driver. And then when I did that, I went and I checked the driver, and he was almost falling asleep. So I arrived just on time to send and exteriorize energies and be able to talk with him. And then he woke up and we finished the trip. So it is important to give attention to those extra physical phenomena which is another class we are going to study.
And Fabiana, and to give attention and to understand the content of the phenomenon.
Exactly.
Because if we, for example, if we go out of the body, what's the purpose of it? What can we learn from that to improve ourselves? And if we saw an extra physical consciousness, what for?
It is
Is that consciousness in need, or does that have something to do with us? What would be? So that's important that we mention. Not leave the phenomena just for, oh, I'm able to interact with that. I have this skill, this parapsychic skill. What for? Use it for assistance, for your self-assistance and for the other. And
this is a very important point, Eliane. I would say that this is the essential point of why we study conscienciology. It is to assist ourselves, to qualify ourselves, to be able to qualify others. So we change our relationship with the world. We start not to see more wanting everything for ourselves. So we leave our way of egocentric being and we start to give more because we received so much. No? So this is the main purpose of why we recycle and why we evolve. It is evolution of consciousness.
It is, yes, it's very important to retribute. Yes,
even a paradox that eventually we are going to produce out-of-body experience and starts to know a very wide reality, and this improves even more our reality that we live in. Yes. We are not distancing ourselves from our life. Things get more signification about what we are doing here. We don't want to go away from our life. We want to go in.
We go more into our micro universe. It's true. It's true. What else, Fabiana, can we point out from the class?
Yes.
Can I?
Yes,
go ahead, talk a little as well.
Go ahead.
When we are talking about quality of life, so we talk about bioenergies, we talk about the experience, we have the class of multidimensionality. And another topic that we study that it's very interesting to improve our quality of life is our life cycles. So we have had many life cycles, we'll continue to have many life cycles. And so we study why they happen, how they happen, and why do we come to this life without knowing that, right? Because this is a question that many people ask, right? If I had lives before this, why can't I remember that? So we studied during the course this phenomena as well. And another phenomena that also improves our quality of life that we study is the Holochromology. So if we talk about all these past lives and we talk about all these relations that we had, all the exchanges and interactions that we had with all this consciousness, we also have to study the karma and this law of action and reaction and how it impacts our life and our future and our reality. So it's very interesting because it gives us a new perspective on our lives and improves our relationships with people, improves our connections with people, and it's a very interesting topic that we study.
Yeah, we can understand through these studies of past lives that why we have some difficulty in dealing with some specific people and why we have affinity with others. And another aspect is that when we know ourselves and we know that, for example, we have a strong trait, it's because we developed that in previous lives. We have been working with that skill for many, many, many lives, so that nowadays we feel very comfortable. But there are some skills that we have to develop. We call them weak traits that we have to develop. And these studies of past life help us to recognize which are the point that I have to be better. So
Can I add something?
Sure.
Eliane, I think what you mentioned is also really important. There are two other important things, but this just to reinforce when we look to our weak traits, We don't look them to diminish ourselves or to be sad or to be unhappy or to think, oh, why I have them? I am such a disaster. No, on the contrary, we look to the weak traits to qualify those weak traits. Therefore, we all have strong traits and weak traits. So we place our strong traits in order to help us as a key to push up and qualify our weak traits. And this is the beauty of it. No, you balance strong traits, weak traits, and then this is the recycle movement. And this is also part of what we talked about mission in life. This is one of the areas that we are going to analyze and to evolve and qualify as well.
So we have studies, classes about past lives, the holokarma, that is our integral karma, and mission of life that we call
bioenergies, Holosoma, which is another important class.
Self-research. We also go deep into the self-research to help people understand their own consciousness.
Something that really called my attention, and it's a content that I think is very important in the course also, is that all this knowledge that people are starting to study eventually now, some people started to studying this for themselves many lives ago. So how people that are more advanced in an evolutionary way, what are their characteristics? How can we notice them and get to learn from them also? And it's very important because we also study the characteristics of all of the evolutionary scale that we could perceive and study from our techniques.
That's very interesting.
That's very,
very evolutionary scale.
Eventually try to put our self-knowledge, like I think I am at this point of the evolution that we know. And this helps a lot so you can know the next step. Because each one, it's difficult to make a comparison. Like the right journey, the right evolution way is this. That's not something like this. So each one can learn about their next step in their own evolution and helps the others in their evolution point.
Yeah, and it's good to point out that this evolutionary scale is didactic. We can be in one level, but have some characteristics of the next level, but still so have some weak traits of a level below. So it's something that is very, very interesting for us to learn.
And this doesn't make anyone better than anyone. Just each one in their own journey that we all can learn together and evolve together.
I just want to add something. One of the things that we study together with all the content that we mentioned is the temperament. It is how we work, analyzing past lives, analyzing our consciousness, how we manifest our tendencies. Perhaps one person has a tendency to manifest in a shy way, another in a more aggressive way, another in a more neutral way. So those tendencies, what we do is we go dig it up, we analyze how we manifest ourselves in order to be able to qualify even more. And we are not in this life to struggle, to suffer. We are in this life to enjoy life and to take the best out of it. And have this life purpose is important.
Fabiana, I think it's a great way to develop self-esteem, to give value to life, to be happy. We are here to be happy.
Part of self-knowledge. We even have a live talking about self-knowledge, which is totally connected with what we are dealing. And also another live you did, Instructor Eliane, talking about the Holosoma, which is one important information about the course. Soon we are going to have another live talking about mission in life, the existential program, and also work out with energies. So We will
Very good.
be
So
giving lots of information.
people from that are watching us, so you can see that this course is very rich in information. It's very really advanced information and new, with a new perspective. Okay, so I invite you really to join us this course. If you have already taken an entry course in conscienciology, this is something very different. It's more complete, it's broader, and we have a very good structure. And I want Marlon, I'm going to ask Marlon to
Sure.
explain to the students how is the course in terms of structure and methodology. Tell us a little bit about that.
We have a beautiful structure, incredible structure for you. We have the course is synchronous, so the classes are happening live when we use Zoom platform. But even though the classes are happening live, the classes are recorded. Just like our webinars, you can watch the classes later, review the classes, and deepen your knowledge on that matter. It's very interactive. The teachers present personal experiences, they share. We have a lot of debate, many moments for reflection, and we aim to keep our critical thinking in all classes. That's one thing that we keep. It's a high priority for us that the students keep their critical thinking on the subjects. We also use many visual resources, videos, and practical activities, and also with peer learning focus. Each class that we teach has its own material. So it's great for the students because they can learn, they can read before the class, and they can bring their questions, any questions that they might have to the class. And with the assistance of the teacher, solve those classes. And we also have many questions for review. So we have a beautiful platform with the videos, with the material, with questions that you can review your knowledge of that class after the end of each class. And all of this platform with all the content of the course is available for the students even a month after we end the course. So it's a great structure that we have for the students.
Yeah, you can download the material, people, and study later. That's very important. And people, another thing that is important to mention, Renan, is there, I've heard students have to have 25% of presence to get the certificate. And why is that important to get a certificate of the Fundamentals of Consciousness Evolution course?
Perfect. Later, after the course, if the students want to continue through other courses in conscienciology, because we don't have in conscienciology just one institution. We have a lot of institutions that work together to develop conscienciology and to develop this knowledge with similar methodologies, but also always maintaining the critical thought. So this certificate is something that Reaprendência, that it's our institution, have to bring the course to a similar way that other institutions later continue to do other courses later that brings to us a certificate that we have this entry course complete. So we maintain this pattern in this course so that other institutions can bring other courses later. So
and more advanced ones as well.
More advanced
For example,
ones.
we have the field courses. Can you talk about what is a field course?
Yes, perfect. This is very important. That is a very practical course that happens presentially, and the essential knowledge is necessary so the students can bring more of them through this course. Is the field course is a course that happens through one weekend, so Saturday and Sunday, or eventually Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And it's very deep. It's very deep about the practical things and the knowledge that we bring and the advanced things that is brought.
Yeah, because
so
we can practice
the certificate guarantees that the students passed through the entry course with the presentiality that is needed, so the people can later get to know more advanced knowledge.
Can I just add one comment? It's important to reinforce here that we study consciousness, and the more we study, the more we learn. But there is a basic theory which is necessary for us to do other advanced courses, for example, like this field course. So that's why it's very important to have certificate and to do at least 25%.
Yeah, because when we have a field course, there is kind of a door with other dimensions, and that it's very potentialized. The energy field is very potentialized. We have epicenters, that is a very experienced person on energies, and he comments the work with energies, and we and extraphysical helpers bring extraphysical consciousness to that field to be assisted, and we are using our energies for the better, for the good, to assist those people, and we are also being assisted together. And another thing that I want to mention here that is very important is that having an entry course is also relevant if you want to be a conscienciology teacher, because many people arrived in conscienciology keeps on reading books and watching tertulias and self-studying. That is very good, but and they want to become a conscienciology teacher, but they still don't have the basics. And so this is in the opportunity where everything happens there. You're going really to know the concepts and to put them into practice. What we call theories is theory plus practice. Okay, so that's why it's very important that you have this essential course, this entry course with the essential concepts. And people, I think our time is almost over. Let me see if there is some question here that is missing. Would you have something to add, Marlon?
I do. Yes, please, I do. I just want to answer one question. Why is this course for you? If you are watching us live from our YouTube or later this video record, why is this course for you? So I want to send a message for people that are watching us. If you wish to have an out-of-body experience, if you want this experience to have a meaning for your life, we offer tons of techniques for projection of the consciousness. If you had to have this experience before and feel the necessity to know more about it, in our course you will find relevant information about our psychic phenomena, why and how to develop. If you started your spiritual journey and feel that something is still missing, if you need more pieces for your consciousness puzzle, we can absolutely help you find the pieces and build the big picture of our evolution together. And if you're curious about what more is out there, what other information, without mysticism, without religion, free to think your own path, we can provide information from our studies that will definitely help you to comprehend your personal life in a deeper level. So I want to give this idea that the course is really a game changer, is a life-changing experience if you're open to it. And I also want to take our last minutes to advertise, because we have more events coming up. The next event that we're going to have is our webinar that happens every Saturday at the same time with instructor Fabiana Cerato talking about mission of life. So next Saturday, February 12th. We also have, coming after that, we're going to have our course that is a workshop in bioenergies, in consciential energies. Yes, now it's showing. So we're going to learn about those sane, energetic signals, vibrational states, sympathetic assimilation. So we have these course, which is going to take again 2 hours and a half, the same time that we have in the class. And of course, just as we talked about, starting March 5th, we have our big course, Fundamentals of Consciousness Evolution. So now you have much more information about the course. I hope you feel motivated to join us in this course. And if you have any doubts, if you need any assistance, please feel free to contact us. You can write your comments here on YouTube or Facebook if you're watching this. You can subscribe to our channel. You can follow us on social media at Reaprendência International and Consciousness in Evolution. And we will make our best to help you reach the course and to help you guide you in a evolutionary journey that we are all going through.
That's great, Marlon and everyone. Renan, thanks very much. Fabiana, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. Hope to see you guys in our next webinar.
Yeah, just to make final words, I want to mention that this course, this Fundamentals of Consciousness Evolution, was launched firstly in 2015. And so far, we have more than 30 groups attended, and around nearly 400 students graduated in this course. And many of them started doing the teacher's formation course after that. Of course, we have, before the fundamentals, we have at least 2 other courses that are more advanced, and each one of them takes a weekend. And then after that, if the student is prepared, he can join us in the teacher's formation course provided by Reaprendência. And people, what I think it's very important to mention here is that this course, Fundamentals, is being also translated into other languages, because we really want to internationalize it. And it's very soon we will have it into German and Spanish, and also adapted in Portuguese from Portugal. So it's, as you can see, it's a very international course, and I invite you to join us in this next group that is going to happen on March 5 this year, 2022. You are all welcome. Okay, thank you very, very much.
Thank you so much for watching.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
It was a
Thank you
pleasure.
for the opportunity.